Well, all week long we've been hearing about a winter storm that could have a big impact on Delmarva. And as the models shift, so do the questions.
Oh yeah, snow totals, timing, travel concerns. There's a lot riding on this forecast. Well, WBOC Chief Meteorologist Mike Lichniak has been tracking it round the clock, and he joins us today to walk us through what's lining up, what's still uncertain, and what you should be preparing for as the weekend gets closer. Well, the weekend is here.
The weekend's here.
The weekend is here. Have you been getting any sleep?
Before the storm, yes.
Okay.
Once we get to Saturday night, and because I'll be here Saturday night, given the weather, I probably won't sleep until the storm ends Sunday night.
Okay.
Because as much as people are like, oh, you guys get paid to get the forecast wrong, I will grind over that forecast, and then all I want to do is stay up and make sure that everything works itself out.
Right. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is earlier this week you put out the snowfall totals, and we saw 18 plus in some places, and then it turned, and then it was less.
Right. So what happened was I was basing my forecast, my initial forecast that I put out there Wednesday, which I usually don't do. I usually wait till Friday, but I said to myself, if we're really going to get 12 to 18 inches of snow, which is what the models are still indicating at that point, I kind of need to start getting the word out earlier rather than later. So that's why I put that out there. Within 24 hours, the models finally started to shift the storm farther north, and it started to introduce the warmer air. So there goes your 12 to 18 inches. That goes up to the north because now we're starting to mix in the warm air for sleet, freezing rain, and rain on Delmarva, which is, the typical recipe that we get on the peninsula.
I would prefer all snow, even though it sounded like a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
But the ice will make it tricky, and it's going to make things probably equally or worse.
Probably worse. If it's freezing rain, which is, again, this is the part of the forecast that's still the trickiest, is yes, we know that there's going to be a snow line to ice line and an ice line to rain line. The only issue is we don't know how thick or thin that layer of cold air at the surface is going to be. If it's a thicker layer of cold air, then you get sleet pellets. Then you just get the pellets that fall to the ground. But that could be 1 to 4 inches of sleet on top of the snow.
Wow.
But if it's a thin enough layer where it's allowed to be a raindrop until it hits the frozen ground, until it hits the surface, which is below freezing, now you've got freezing rain. So now you're going to add a glaze to everything that's fallen. And then you add a glaze to the tree branches and a glaze on the power lines.
Right.
And that's
We don't
when
want a
all
glaze
the
on the
big
power
problem-
lines.
Right.
And that's when the big problems start.
And we actually have your map thus far, what you're saying we will probably get. And again, this could change. And how do you manage to get that blue and purple line over top of my house? My house is always under the line.
And you know what's funny is like those people that will say, "Hey, I see that my town is between this color and this color. It's right on the line. What do you think is actually going to fall there?" And I go, "You do realize that's 2 numbers. One has the high end, one has the low end where it starts. So if you deduct reason, probably the number." No. But in all seriousness, I do want to stress that when you look at that snowfall map, that's what's going to fall Sunday morning.
Right.
Before the transitions begin, before we start to do that tango with the warm air in the atmosphere. So that's what's going to be on the ground by, say, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So there's 8 hours there where we're going to snow, and it's going to snow, in some cases, 1 to 2 inches per hour, and then we do the dance. So I want to stress that to everybody. So when you look at a map, whether it be on TV, whether it be on social media, whether it be on the WBOC weather app, that is for Sunday morning before we start to transition to sleet, freezing rain, and for some of us, especially south and east, the transition to rain.
You mentioned something before, very important. We know we've got a day tomorrow to kind of get things done. Branches, ice, all that stuff. If you've got anything that's questionable, take care of it tomorrow.
Right, and also tie things down.
Right.
Because the wind will pick up once the storm leaves.
Oh.
So now during the storm, the wind during the storm won't be actually as bad as it normally is during a snowstorm or nor'easter here on Delmarva. It's that massive cold blast of air that comes in behind it. Oh, and that's the other issue is that once we freeze on Sunday night, it doesn't get above freezing till maybe Saturday of next weekend.
Oh, fabulous.
Oh boy. Okay, and then finally, the tie. When we see that tie, what should we think to ourselves?
I've either lost my mind or it means that there's a significant storm coming to Delmarva and that we should start preparing.
All right, you got that? See that, Ty?
Unless it's the Christmas season, and then that doesn't count. That's just because it's a festive tie and I like it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, Mike, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We will prepare for the worst, but hope for the best.
Exactly.
And I hope you get sleep after all this.
Probably by Monday afternoon, yes.
Okay.
We'll put another pot of coffee on for you.
Sweet.